What's going on, fellas? My name is Derailious and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over the Minecraft chat reporting system further and why I still think it has some major flaws even though it has received some minor improvements. These improvements include, but are not limited to, some parts of the system being removed that I felt like, were unfair, but also some changes to some of the guidelines which I also think greatly improve the system. Even after all this though, I still think the system needs a ton of work to even be considered viable, and definitely needs an opt-out at the very least. So starting off here, let's talk about what has been changed. And there's quite a number of things that have, notably profanity, extreme violence and gore, and also nudity and pornography have been removed as options to, report someone for. The first two I understand, that makes sense. Gore shouldn't really be included. There's violence in video games, it's fine. It's not really a problem. Neither should profanity. Profanity is completely okay, and it is really up to the server to determine, what's okay and what isn't. Nudity is a little stranger. I don't really know why they're removing that from the list, but hey, who knows? Maybe they want it to be up to the servers in a weird way. I don't really have an answer for that one. That one's kind of strange to me. I feel like that was one of the more reasonable parts of the system at first. Aside from that, though, there is the chance that if you get, reported and they find that you did something wrong, you can have your entire account removed from the ability to join multiplayer servers permanently, which is something I really dislike, especially considering that there are anarchy servers which have whole purposes and communities built around not having rules. I understand things like bullying aren't okay, but if you're joining an anarchy server, you know what you're getting into, and there really shouldn't be some sort of hand-holdy system like this that prevents people from, actually participating in these systems. I understand that some people are like, oh, you gotta protect the kids, but if a kid's joining 2B2T, they know what they're getting into. Come on now. Another problem I have with this is that it really kills server-run moderation. There are many servers, like Monumenta for instance, which have a server-run moderation team, and we really handle our own stuff here. And we run a fairly loose ship, aside from things that, are obviously terrible. We don't want players to have to deal with the ability to just get banned for saying something that Mojang doesn't like, or that another player doesn't like. People should have the ability to express themselves, and if it's in a way that Mojang doesn't like, it doesn't mean that they should have their account removed and terminated for basically no reason. My final issue with this is that it's trivially easy to get around this system by just removing it on the server. There have already been mods and client-side plugins, or not client-side, I guess it would be server-side plugins that completely remove the ability for you to report another player. The fact that this has already happened basically means that no server is actually going to follow these rules, which means you have to be more careful in the future about what servers you join, because joining a small server means that you run the risk of potentially having your account completely obliterated if you say the wrong thing. All of these problems are major and really need to be looked at. I seriously think Mojang should reconsider this entire stance about chat moderation. It works on something like Bedrock when there's fewer servers and a smaller community, and overall more kids play Bedrock than play Java. But it doesn't work here. There are so many different problems and things that they just haven't gone over, things that completely get around the system, like, just turning it off. It's just a failure of a system, frankly, and needs to be reconsidered one way or another. I do want to hear what you guys think, though, and I do think that some of these things are actually fine. Racism, for instance, should not be tolerated. I don't think that's like a unreasonable statement, and if you are racist on the Minecraft server, well, you deserve what's going to happen to you. Stuff like that is totally okay, but I don't think that it should be as overreaching as it is currently. And I also don't think that the Minecraft community at large is overreacting when people say that they're scared about this. I, completely understand it, and I am just as scared as you are. As someone who develops for a server, this is terrible news. But yeah, I want to hear what you guys think. Leave it in the comments below. And that's about all for me. I don't really have too much else to say, otherwise this video is going to be 15 minutes long and just be me rambling. So yeah, on that note, look to the future, fellas, and I'll see you then.